Do not buy this watch unless you love wasting money. So why did I buy this watch? Well, I'll tell you why. I'm a sucker for marketing. So when Tag Heuer released the Keith Heuer, first of all, I was like, who the fuck is Keith? And what does he have anything to do with Heuer? It just reminded me of Mike Tyson making the two pigeons kissing meme. And I just was like, well, this is too small. It was 35 millimeters. I was like, no way am I going to fit that on my wrist. But when they released this one in a 38 millimeters and it was a proper Tag Heuer and they started sponsoring the F1, I was like, take my money. But it came in the post and I wasn't able to see it until I actually got back from work. And now that I am here, I can tell you that this watch is certainly not worth the money. There are a few things that I don't like about this watch. One, the chapter ring green does not match the bezel green, as you can see. That doesn't match at all. And I thought that's a bit off. That's not right. And I've heard a few reports of the same sort of thing. Two, it's a strange one for me, but every time I look down on this watch, it looks like I'm looking at it as low resolution, you know? I think it's because it has matte painted hands and matte paint around the hour markers. It just looks like it's low resolution. You know, it's hard for me to explain, but obviously this watch is a bit more expensive, but when you look at the blackened hands, everything looks very high definition, you know? And let's look at something that's not as expensive. It's got blued hands, well, blue painted hands and the markers. And everything seems to look clear. The clarity of it looks nice. Another watch, even cheaper, 200 bucks. And it just looks way better, you know? I don't know if it's just me, but it looks like it's low resolution. Like I'm looking through like a really poor quality camera here. But that's what it looks like with the paint. The bracelet. A bit weird, bit of a hair pincher as well, right? Look at that. Okay, I've got my wife's watch here, the Carrera, and obviously it is twice as expensive, but you know, the bracelet is better quality and it's smoother, the links flow smoother. This watch, it feels like jingly jangly, you know? And one thing that really annoyed me about the clasp is the whole thing pivots, right? And you might think, well, that's not a big deal. But this is one thing that I figured out once I put it on the wrist. So I put it on the wrist, right? And because it pivots there, when you're trying to put it on, it like squashes into my wrist here. And you've got to kind of really kind of push it in before it engages. And when I first bought this, I had to like clip it together like this because it was so tight. But then once it got a bit worn out, it does, well, not worn out, but like worn in, you know, it does clip, but you got to push that baby right in, you know? And, you know, I'll put on the Carrera, similar clasp, similar clasp style, right? Boom, on. Ready? Oh, that's nice. It just clips, it just works, right? And why does it work? Because the end here is fixed. So it clips together and it's got like a solid anchored point, right? Whereas this one, you close it and because it's not anchored, it just pushes into your wrist, which is really annoying. And also like everything about it just feels a bit, listen to that. What's that about? Right? Same kind of clasps, right? Because look, I'll show you them both, right? They're both the exact same design. Both exact same design clasp. But why does this one sound better? Yeah, it's more expensive. But it's not like it's very different in design. Why does this sound shit? Right? I don't get it. You can tell me in the comments what you think about that, but that's not on really. And it just feels jingly jangly, you know? Plus the bezel. Listen. Very, very weak. very weak. Obviously this is more expensive, but you can hear, really nice tactile bezel. This bezel, it's just a bit weak sauce, isn't it? You know, bit weak sauce there. The only good thing about this watch is the movement, right? It's got a Citizen solar powered movement, and this is what I'm getting to here. I've got this Citizen here, Eco Drive, right? Everything about this watch is quality. You know, it's got a proper milled clasp. You know, it's, for the price point, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get like a stamped over clasp, right? But everything about it is quality. You know, it feels quality on the wrist. It feels chunky, robust, and the bracelet is great. You know, and you're getting the solar powered Citizen movement, right? You know, it feels better for the price point, because this is probably about 600 quid, right? This is 600 quid watch. This is 1,000 more than that. 1,000. What am I paying for? I'm paying £1,000 for the name. Is that what I'm paying for? Because in my opinion, this is $1,000 watch max. 1,000 quid max for this watch. You know, I'm paying 500 for the premium of having Tag Heuer on the badge there, you know. So no, I would not recommend this watch. I cannot in full faith recommend this watch to someone who's going to buy it and regret it. And for those of you still around, I've got a little story about buyer's remorse. A few years ago, I bought my first apartment, and every apartment you're going to need appliances. So what did I need? I needed a vacuum cleaner. So with my young, naive mind, I was like, what vacuum cleaner is the best? The latest and greatest vacuum cleaner. I wanted a Dyson. You know, you've made it when you've got a Dyson. So I was like, yeah, getting a Dyson. So I went to the shop and I bought myself the Dyson Big Ball, right? But only the basic one. You know, I didn't need the Animal Pro 2, right? With all the kind of fancy brush attachments. Oh, no. I just was like, right, I'm going to get the basic one. That's all I need. I only need the basic one. So got back home, and my brother's going to piss himself laughing when he hears this, because he saw my face when I had the remorse. You could actually see the remorse over my face. So I opened the Big Ball Pro. I was like, yeah, this Dyson is good. This Dyson is the key. So I put the head on, right? And it only had one head attachment, and it was a multi-floor automatic suction head. It was like some fancy dancy head, right? I tell you, it was fucking shit. It didn't suck anything up. So I'm brushing it over the hardwood, right? And it would suck a few crumbs up, you know, it was doing okay. And then I go to like the carpet, and it didn't do anything. It wasn't sucking up any hairs. But because I'd spent like so much money on this vacuum, I had to justify it in my head. I was like, oh, no, it's okay. You know, you just kind of have to help it. So I was like, you know, I was on my hands and knees, like scratching up like the hairs out of the carpet to like help the vacuum cleaner. What was I doing? Like, imagine me on my hands and knees helping scoop up some of like the crumbs and stuff. And then like, you know, come on, man. Like the vacuum cleaner should just do its job. And my brother was like, come on, Tom, it's not sucking anything up. And I was like, please, no, it is. You just have to help it. You just have to help it suck it up. Come on. So I phoned up Dyson and was like, look, this head attachment isn't working for me, you know, and I've already bought the product. You know, can I get one of the spinny brush ones on the Animal Pro 2? And they were like, oh yeah, but they only come with the Animal Pro. So then I learned a lesson about upselling, right? They'll upsell you stuff. So they give you a basic product and then try and upsell you. That's a different story. Anyway, I said, I just need a brush attachment head. You know, the one where it kind of spins and it helps like pick up all the hairs out of the carpet. And they were like, yeah, okay. That's $100 for the head. I've already bought the bloody vacuum cleaner. Now you want me to pay for the head that's supposed to come with the product? Anyway, long story short, I learnt my lesson on that. And I learnt a lot about buyer's remorse. And I did have buyer's remorse. Did I regret buying the Big Ball Dyson? Yes. If I had bought the Animal Pro 2, would I have regretted it? Probably not. So, on another note, Do I regret buying this watch? Not entirely. I do, however, regret paying the full asking price for this watch because this watch is not worth £1,600, I'll tell you that.